All right, let's show you how to put together your interactive notebook. Now, your interactive notebook just needs to be a notebook. It could be spiral, like this one. Could be a composition book. Could be a regular notebook. We just need something to keep our notes in. I'm going to use a spiral notebook. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a title on that. So because of this, the way this cover is, you can't see a whole lot. I've prepared just a little card, and I'm going to put my subject on there for this. Okay, so depending on what class I'm in, I would write the title of the class on there. I'm just going to put subject since it's the general one. I've got a piece of tape that what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay over the top of it. I'm going to put that right on my notebook. That way, I've got it all labeled. That way I know which class this is, because this is the only class I'm going to use this notebook for. Okay, so there's my title. I've got a title. The next thing I'm going to do is create a table of contents. Now on this one, I got some little funky pages in it. But what I have here now is I've got a blank piece. That's my first page. I'm going to label this table of contents. Okay, and then I'm going to number these, but I'm not going to use numbers. I'm going to use letters. So I'm going to do A, and we'll turn the page. I'm going to do B, C, and I want to go 5 or 6 pages in. D, E. I'm going to go to E. What we're going to need is, when we take notes, we're going to use two pages. We're going to use a right side and a left side. So I'm going to stop my table of contents lettering here on E, so I come out with pages that I can use to take notes on both sides. So I'm going to start with E. That's going to be my table of contents. So that's the first thing I need to create. After my table of contents, I'm going to start numbering pages. Okay, so these will be my notes and the things that we'll use. So we got to number both sides. So I'm going to take and I'm going to label. So I've labeled 1, and then I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go all the way 7, 8. We're going to number the first 8. See, you can see I'm on 8. 9, 10. I'm going to keep going until I've reached 20. Okay? So you want to label the first 20 pages. Okay, so after I've numbered the first 20 pages, I'm going to go to pages 1 and 2. Those are my first set of notes. We're going to do something special with these. We're going to title these Helpful Stuff. It's where we're going to write constants, conversions, all kinds of reference material that we might need for class. Okay, so that's my first 2 pages. 1 and 2 is the helpful stuff. We want to label that. After we've got helpful stuff labeled, then on page 3 and 4, I'm going to put in a little handout you're going to get right here that explains what's on the left side and what's on the right side. Now, you can put this all on one side if you want, or I like, because we talk about left side and right side, to take and cut this. There we go. And I'm going to put what goes on the left side, and what goes on the right side, on the right side. Now, you can tape them in. You can glue them in. I have some double-sided tape, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that on my little handout here. I'm just going to put it right there. I'm going to do the same for the right side. I'm going to take my double-sided tape. If you have glue that you want to use, if you want to get tape, whatever, just so long as they're in our notebook. Okay, so then we want to title these. We always want to title our pages. So we want example, and explanation is what we want. It's our example and our explanation of our INB. Example and explanation. So that's pages 3 and 4 in our notebook. We've got those in there so you can see what goes on there if you ever have a question. We call the left side the output side and the right side the input side. Okay, so that's pages 3 and 4. So now we're going to go to pages 5 and 6. And our 5 and 6, we're going to title just on the right side. We're going to put INB, that's our interactive notebook, INB scoring rubric. Okay, and we're going to tape in our rubric. You got a copy of this? We're going to tape that in. Again, I'm going to use, since I've got it, I'm going to use my double-sided tape. And I'm just going to tape in this scoring rubric so you know what you have to have. Now on this one, I think I'm going to put another piece on the bottom. I don't mind if those other ones flip up, but I think this one, I want it to stay down, so I've got that. Okay, so now I've got all this stuff in here. Now what I need to go, remember, back at the beginning, page A, we had a table of contents. So I need to go put all of these things in my table of contents. So remember, helpful stuff, pages 1 and 2. So I've got to label helpful stuff. That way in the future, when we've got this book pretty full, we know where to go. So that's 1 to 2. Then remember, let's see. 1 to 2 was helpful stuff. And 3 and 4, see there's my 4, was example and explanation. Example and explanation. Whoops. Misspelling that. Let's just do one line. There we go. Explanation. And that was pages 3 and 4. Remember, there's 4, there's 3. Those are our examples and explanations. So we label that 3 to 4. And then we had our scoring rubric. Let's say INB scoring rubric. And that was pages 5 and 6, right? We've got this one on page 6, and we might need some explanation, some questions. We'll do some stuff here. So that's why it's there. So we'll say that's pages 5 and 6. Remember, it always comes, we're going to take notes. It's always going to be in sets of 2 pages. The odd page will be the left-hand side. Or remember our explanation, that's the output. The even page will be our right-hand side, which will be our input. Okay? So now, once you have a title, and if you want, you can decorate the cover, but my cover doesn't take much to that. You've got the table of contents with our contents listed. You've got all the A, B, C, E, D, E for the table of contents. Then we have our helpful stuff on pages 1 and 2. That's our helpful stuff. We've got our title. Then the next set, we've got our example and explanation for our left side and our right side. Remember, that is pages 3 and 4. And then we have our INB scoring rubric. We've got our title, and we've got our pasted rubric in here on page 6. So once we have all that done, table of contents, everything in our pages, numbered 1 through 20, we've got our notebook set up, and you're all done.